Coming up next, On the Spot. Double Fine kicks off the show with Trenched. Then we dive into demos of LA Noire, The Witcher 2, and Dirt 3. We've also got a starting block for LA Noire, along with the latest digital downloads, and round one of our next super button mashing episode, Brain Bust. And Video Game History Month continues with a look at Mortal Kombat. We're live and on the spot.
Welcome, folks, to the GameSpot studios for this week's episode of On the Spot. I'm your host, Chris Waters, joined by a guy who you maybe glimpsed in the intro, Brad Muir of Double Fine Productions. Brad, thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you.
Here we go. Bring it in for the
Thank you.
handshake.
Yeah,
Brad,
well, it's a manly handshake.
It was,
I feel
that
like
was
we gotta,
solid. Good connection.
Yeah.
That bodes well for the demo whenever you have a good
Definitely.
early
I like
connection.
to touch the people that interview me and I talk to.
That's so nice.
Yeah, see, that I think that it really puts it off on the right foot. So.
Now, so let's get it started then. What game are you here to show off? You're the project lead on?
Yeah, I'm the project lead on Trenched.
Trenched. Yes.
So this is Double Fine's new downloadable game. It's XBLA exclusive for now. Microsoft is funding it.
They've got it. They got their hands on it.
Yes, they paid us to make this game. So
and you're taking their money and you're making a game.
Yes.
And so for those of who aren't familiar, give us the basic, like, the tweet about it, like, you know, short form, the basic premise. And then we'll get into, you know, the gritty details.
Yeah, so it's like a third-person mech shooter with like highly customizable open-top mechs that are these walking mobile trenches.
Excellent.
And you take those out with your friends. It's like 4-player co-op over live. And you'll be fighting the monovisions, which are these sort of crazy television monstrosities that have been created by a madman.
I was picturing like a horrible old television with knobs and stuff. It actually is a television monster. That's excellent.
It actually is a television monster, yes.
Cool.
The bad guy in the game, a little inspired by like Dr. Wily, just sort of like a crazy electrical genius, created the television ahead of schedule. And then he was like broadcasting his hatred out through the network, and you know, like he saw like all the terrible horrors of the world, and so he decided to take it over. And so he made these.
He's going to make the world a better place, right?
Yeah, of course. He just wants to wire the world for peace. That's really his big thing. So he made these like electrical, mechanical bodies to carry the monovisions around and like take over the world. So those are the enemies that you're fighting that you see in the trailers.
Well, let's fire it up and let's jump in here.
That's fantastic,
folks. I mentioned the Twitter earlier. We are on Twitter, and we are taking your questions. Tweet us at GameSpot to ask Brad anything you want to know about Trenched. Also, you can join the chat room by clicking Join the Chat on the side of the page there. And we're also taking your emails over email questions, rather, to onthespot@gamespot.com. So, Brad.
That would be awesome. And
Yeah.
you can ask anything. I will answer any question.
Did you hear that, folks?
Yeah,
we've got
I'll do it.
Unfettered access to Brad Muir.
I'll do it. Whatever you
this,
ask.
so please.
It doesn't matter.
Keep them coming.
If I can. So hey, here's the main menu. This is Trenched.
There's like a battleship.
So yeah, after you complete the tutorial, which is mercifully short, I would say, entrenched.
That's a good description.
You'll whenever you fire the game up after that, you'll be presented with this as like the main menu of the game. So this is the USS McKinley. This is the big aircraft carrier that's sort of the headquarters for the Mobile Trench Brigade.
Okay. So
and it also has huge mechanical legs. I'm not sure if you've seen that in any of the trailers. But it's like amphibious. It can walk around on land and stuff. So when you start the game, you get this nice little sweeping camera to bring you down to your mech. Your mobile trench. So this is a regiment update. We can talk about this later.
Is mech like a verboten word around the studio?
No, we totally use it. I think we've embraced mech because it's a mech game. I mean, that's definitely how it started. The concept of the mobile trench came a little bit afterwards, but we definitely wanted to do like the open top mech. That was really important to us. Like, because Double Fine is very focused like on very like character and kind of like art driven studio.
Sure.
So we really wanted to have these like open top mechs where you could see the. Sorry, I'm really bad at playing the game and talking at the same time.
It's very challenging, as we here at GameSpot
It's a learned
know
skill.
Very well.
It's a learned skill, and I don't do this very often.
So this is your character.
But yeah, so in between the missions, you'll be running your trench marine around the deck of the USS McKinley, and you can see like this guy's swabbing the deck and things like that. So over here is where you'll accept missions. This is Commander Woodruff. He's in charge of the Mobile Trench Brigade. So
is he in an iron lung?
He's in an iron lung, yes.
Oh, Commander.
So he was injured during World War I, and he lost both of his legs. And then he was hit with this thing called the broadcast that made him super smart, and that's how he The bad guy was hit with it too.
Oh, interesting. So now
Yeah.
they're sort of opposed opposites.
Absolutely.
wrangling
So
in
you have
battle.
sort of, it's like the mechanical versus the electrical, if that, you know,
Okay.
if you're down with that. So here's where you customize your mech. So from this, you can change out the chassis, the paint job, the legs, all the weapons. There's also the emplacements. This is like the tower defense element of the game.
Oh, okay.
So I guess I didn't even get there, but it's sort of third-person mech shooter with heavy tower defense element. And you'll see that when we get into
I
the
look
game.
forward to it. But so this is the Pimp Your Mech
Yes.
section.
And we also have a lot of like hats and jackets for your Marine.
Who doesn't like hats?
I know, we have tons of hats, tons of like customizable stuff. That's all the hats and jackets are just they're just like vanity things.
I mean, if the hat and the jacket are sitting on top of the mech, you're seeing them there. You're enjoying
Absolutely.
it. You're getting
Absolutely.
You're like, yeah, that's right. My guy has a stick of dynamite in his helmet.
Yeah.
He's going into battle.
yeah,
He needs
this
to
is
be prepared.
this is the Special Forces helmet. So
He's ready to cheat at poker or blow
yeah,
everybody up.
you can do both if you want. Also, on the right trigger, we have this like analog saluting system, which we'll get into a little bit. So every hat has its own salute. So when you change hats, you like it. We have like points and thumbs up and flexing manly muscles and things like that.
And when you get 4 players co-op around, it's like a salute fest.
Absolutely, and it's
Yeah.
just a little something, you know, it's a little something that you can do while you're hanging out, waiting for your buddies to show up or
Yeah,
whatever.
Nice little gesture.
So the ship also counts as like the multiplayer lobby. So we have this really simple one-button matchmaking. So Jeff Solis, lead artist on Double Fine, on Trench is off camera, and so when I start searching, I'll be able to find him shortly if this works. So
it's
cross
gonna
your
work.
fingers.
I'd like to speak confidently about it because I find that generally leads
think
to a
it'll work.
better, yeah.
The game's almost
better
done.
outcome.
It'll probably work. Okay, there. So I get a little message that he's connected, and this is Mech Bay number 2 over here.
Is that where his mech's gonna pop
And he
up?
will show up in one moment, yes, as he's connecting through the thing. So I can see his trench come up the thing, and his trench marine will jump over the railing here. I can see him, and we can like salute each other. Give me the thumbs up. So I can also inspect his
Good to see
trench.
you guys are getting along.
I can also inspect his trench and like see all the parts that he's using, and like, you know, which weapons he's using, which emplacements he's using, and things like that. What paint job he's got. All the stuff is just like available to players. So
Are you guys about to? While you guys are getting ready to jump in here, we've got questions coming in through the chat room.
absolutely,
One
let them fly.
from Real Killer is sort of asking about, you know, the M word, the mech, that sort of gameplay. Like what drew you to that as, you know, in terms of finding a new direction to go. You guys have been working on a slate of downloadable games, you know, Costume Quest, stacking. What is attractive about the mech genre?
I think the big part of it is that it's so customizable. That, you know, like I'm a big fan of mech games like Chrome Hounds.
Yep.
I think Chrome Hounds is one of my big influences, and Mech Assault. I thought Mech Assault did a really great job of like kind of streamlining the mech game, because you see there are a lot of other ones. Like the more Japanese mech games, like Armored Core and stuff.
Right,
I
that
think
are
they
really
get a little.
fast-paced.
I think, yeah, they're like, you know, these mechs that are zipping around the battlefield,
Yep.
and they're also, the customization element is very complicated. Like, I
Yes.
think so. What we've tried to do is really streamline it down to the parts that are the most fun.
Boom,
Like,
weapons.
yeah, I mean, and you can see I'm even talking while I'm doing this. I'm sort of like, you know, doing my mech loadout. I'm gonna quickly change my paint job. No, I'm not. Sorry, I didn't
Because we're
make
getting
it.
into the action. That's all right. Are you? So
I didn't
is
make it,
mostly,
sorry.
Mostly weapons. You mentioned paint job, but there's
Yeah.
no like you don't have to put like heat sinks.
No,
to balance
see, that's
it
the
out or
thing, is that I
anything
think
like
we really tried to avoid those concepts like
Mm-hmm.
like ammo and heat and weight and like all those concepts. We have a couple things that restrict it to like the classes of mechs, like
Sure.
the lighter mechs versus the heavier mechs, and that's definitely a concept in our game. But you know, the things that make it unfun, I think, like gas,
Mm-hmm.
like running out of gas in Chrome Hounds. If you've ever had that happen to you. Not
Then
not
you're
the like,
like,
most fun
"Hey,
thing you can have happen to the
so-
game.
I'm out of gas here.
But so once you deploy into the mission, look at that, we just blew right past that. But basically, that was Vladimir.
They were
Farnsworth.
watching. People were
yeah,
enjoying
people were
that.
watching right
Yeah,
out there on
absolutely.
the internet land. So that was Vladimir Farnsworth on the big. That's his like way of communicating with you. Is that sort of big like. It's like a hockey scoreboard with his image on it.
I don't mean to frighten you, but there are some really frightening.
Okay, so
walking
these.
right towards
This
you.
is where the
have big
breakers are
jaws.
introduced.
Oh,
so this
maybe
is-
they're not that frightening. You just blew the
Well-
crap out of them.
So,
Oh,
so
their
these
heads come off?
guys have armored shells that Vlad has developed. So for
Okay.
this mission, Woodruff, we had to blow through a lot of this stuff, but basically he's going to recommend gear for the specific missions that you take. So for this one, it's like, because he knows that the breakers are going to show up, he recommends that you should take some explosive weapons. So here, I've kind of gone to the heavier assault trench, and I've put this big artillery cannon out. This is actually like a cluster artillery cannon, so when it blows up, it leaves a couple of extra bombs behind, right? So I can use that to blow the shields off of the breakers, and then they'll take more damage from all the other weapons.
But they will also run quicker.
They will, actually.
Apparently.
So you need to watch out for that.
And
these
are dudes without
right, these are the resistors. These are just kind of like the basic melee enemies that Jeff and I are just going to clear out.
I'm sensing a theme in the enemy names. Are there like maybe capacitors?
We don't have any capacitors, but that was definitely thrown up. We tried to name them after like components of of televisions or of like
cathode
electronics
ray
and things
beams
like that.
are coming
We
after
have. What are the other ones we have? We have a lot of names. Some of them though are more like slang names. Like one of the big mini bosses is called Big Willie. His name is just too technical, so the Trench Marines they just call him Big Willie. He's just a huge monovision enemy.
Slang terms for your enemies is a common in warfare.
So you can see this right here. You use the left bumper to lay down defenses. So Jeff is laying down one of these mortar cannons. We're playing this level a little bit slow, but you can see that
it just sits right on the corner there.
Yeah, so it's like we have like total freeform placement of these things. So I'm going to put down this shotgun. You can see use the D-pad to like pick between the different emplacements, and then you'll hold down the left bumper, you aim it, and then you release to throw it down.
Okay.
So it's like a really simple, streamlined interface of just throwing these things down. And when you kill the guys, when you kill the monovisions, you'll see those TVs. Those are the actual monovisions. That part of that guy's face they'll actually cough them up, and then you collect those as the resource for putting down more turrets. So you see, I have 49 right now, and then I can hold the right bumper.
Oh, yep, and then you got to get up.
And
to
I can
60.
suck in all the televisions, and then that will add
so you don't have
it.
to just run all over the place.
Yeah, and we just split that amongst all the players that are playing the game. So there's nobody can like go kind of like hog it.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's because Trench is a co-op game. It's a game about love.
To be equitable.
Yeah, we don't want to make anyone feel bad or like have people yell at each other for hogging the scrap.
Is there a way to grief your buddy during this game?
We try to minimize it as much as possible, and I don't think that there is.
Okay.
We definitely did not see one while we were developing the game, but we kind of like each other.
Direct those energies towards the monovision.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's where your hatred should go.
All right, we got a question here. Is this in 3D from Thribs?
Is this in
3D?
The game is definitely uses 3D computer graphics.
Check it out, Thribs.
But you're talking about an actual
stereoscopic
3D television. Like I know a lot of PS3 games are starting to support that. We do not support that for Trenched.
All right, next one, Edu Buccaneer. Are there mechs that fly around or do anything besides sort of walk?
No, there are not.
Okay.
We've tried. We do have different types of legs. We have like biped mechs and tripod mechs and quadruped mechs. And all of those, as you get a little bit farther into the game, each leg has its own kind of ability. So the biped guys can sprint around the battlefield faster. The tripod guys can lock down, and that like jacks up your reload speed. And then the quadruped legs has like a melee attack.
Yeah, I guess you say lock down. Do you ever actually sort of entrench yourself?
Yes, that would with the tripod legs. They sort of you like plant. It's kind of like a siege tank in StarCraft. StarCraft's excellent. You can like lock down and you lose the ability to move until you stand back up, but you reload really fast.
Excellent. All right, Brad, we are coming to the. I mean, obviously the monovisions are still coming fast and furious, but we are coming to the end of our demo time. Is there anything else you want to tell me about this game while you have the world's attention?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things about the game is like the loot and the customization. So as you go through these levels, the monovisions have a chance to drop random loot, and then there are also ones sort of the mini bosses that you encounter that will always drop a piece of loot. So at the end of the mission, if you win or lose, you get presented with like all the pieces of loot that you were there, and they're all kind of like randomly come out of a loot table, and you're going to be getting upgrades in the form of like chassis and legs and weapons and like all these things. There's tons of loot in the game. There's about 250 pieces, I think, and then we also have like lots of the like lots of hats and jackets and paint jobs and all this sort of like stuff that you can just customize.
Cosmetic stuff as well as functional armaments and mech parts.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, I think that's the real core of the game, is like you're hanging out with your friends. Like, it is a very co-op based experience. You're talking about the next mission, like what kind of things you're going to be encountering when you go out to the next mission, and you're all like tweaking your mechs out and talking about it. It's just a lot of fun. It's just good hanging out with your buddies.
Sounds like a good time, Brad.
Shooting television monsters in the face with guns. It's
certainly
fun.
been amusing to watch you shoot television monsters in the face.
It is hard to do this and talk at the same time. I hope that it was not too.
You did
not
all
too
right.
awful for
You did all right.
for
You
the
didn't
viewers
perish
at home.
horribly.
Okay,
There were no
we're doing all right.
Or anything like that. It was very well done, sir. Now, the question we got to ask: when can you said it's Xbox Live Arcade exclusive?
Xbox Live Arcade exclusive.
Currently,
yes.
so no PSN.
Currently, right. And I apologize
scheduled.
to anyone who only has a PS3. I'm sorry.
Just in general.
Yeah, that's not. Well, I mean, I think all the consoles are excellent.
Yes.
But
If you have a PS3, maybe go download Stacking. That game.
we
is
just
really
we just make the game. Like, that's what we do. We make
Yes.
the game. We don't get to decide where it goes or who wants to pay for it. Like, that's kind of out of our hands.
Or
to,
when
to a
it
large
even-
extent. Or even when it comes
when
out.
it comes out. So
Yeah.
you can't answer my question. When is this game coming out?
No, I think sooner than you think is the answer.
Sooner than I think.
Yeah, so just take that for what it's worth. Like, I don't know. As soon as we have a release date and we're allowed to talk about it, we're not keeping it a secret.
You'll talk about it.
We'll let everybody know. Yeah, but
Well, Brad Muir, thank you so much for bringing the game by.
thank you for
now,
having me. This has been fantastic.
And this is not your only appearance on the show today. Later on, folks, Brad is going to be coming on back to be part of Super Button Mashing.
Yes.
An epic contest of will and knowledge that he engaged in with some GameSpot editors. We're going to have that a little later on, but up next, we're looking at digital downloads. What's new this week? What can you download? And what does it look like? Take a look.
Hey, what's up, players? This is Werner Goff, bringing you the latest in digital downloads this week on Xbox Live and Wii Shop channel. In downloadable content this week, leading the pack on Xbox Live is the Honest Hearts content for Fallout New Vegas. The action takes place in Utah's Zion National Park and sees gamers leading an expedition that is swamped by a roving tribal war party. Players are then charged with escaping to the Mojave and battling the belligerent nomads in the process. Also out today is the new Retaliation map pack for the sci-fi first-person shooter Crysis 2. Those willing to nanosuit up and hit the streets of New York will find 4 new killing spaces, which include Park Avenue, Transit, Shipyard, and Compound. Old but newly available this week. If you have royal dreams of grandeur, you can pick up Lionhead's role-playing game Fable 3 via the Games on Demand page. The well-reviewed Xbox 360 digital version comes in tandem with the release of the PC edition, which was delayed last summer. Lead a revolution to take control of Albion, fight alongside your people, and experience love and loss while preparing to defend the kingdom against a looming threat. Or you can just play with your chicken. In 50 Cent Blood on the Sand, you play as 50 Cent himself in this fast-paced action shooter. Voiced by the real Curtis Jackson III, you and G-Unit members Tony Yayo, Lloyd Banks, and DJ Who Kid will battle across 2 war-torn countries to collect your payday and exact your revenge on all those who have crossed you. Fitty style. What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you? Listen here, brother. WWE Legends lets you relive, rewrite, and redefine the greatest matches in WWE history. It features main events ranging from the first WrestleMania up through WrestleMania 15. Play in matches with such legends as Sergeant Slaughter, Jake the Snake Roberts, Ted DiBiase, Junkyard Dog, and more. And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Yeah, I'll work on it. Now, when was the last time you had so much fun getting dragged through the mud? Sega Rally Online Arcade will feature elements that played heavily into Sega Rally Revo and its arcade complement, Sega Rally 3. According to the publisher, gamers will find all the features found in those 2 titles, including Championship Battle Mode and Time Attack. The game will also feature online multiplayer races for up to 5, then let you race through 5 different types of terrain and more rally-bred vehicles than a baker can shake his dozen at. Now, finally, we bring you to the What's Happenings on the Wii Shop channel. Not a lot, but you can get your ghoul on with Gabrielle's Ghostly Groove Monster Mix. Join Gabrielle and her monster friends as they dance along to a spectacular selection of songs. Grab your Wii remote and some of your friends to dance the night away as you shimmy, shake, and spin in time to the music. No time for the gym these days? Well, Exerbeat lets you bring all the fun of a fitness club home with you, minus the long waits in line between sets and greased up machines. You can work out alongside a friend, get instant feedback from trainers, and get calorie burn counts after each exercise. All this while moving to the rhythm holding a Wii remote. Sweat-drenched spandex, optional. Now that's all that we have time for. Check back next week for all our top picks and digital downloads.
Hey, it's Tor Thorson right here. We're going to be doing news in just a second, but before we get there, I wanted to tell you folks that digital downloads was a look at what's up for consoles nowadays. But for all you iOS users out there, maybe you got your iPad handy, your iPad 2, if you're fancy. New version of Infinity Blade came out today. This is Infinity Blade Arena that takes this game into the multiplayer sphere, so you can hack and slash up your friends and random people on the internet with all sorts of brutal swords. There are also new items, shields and helms and whatnot available for the game. It's all part of this update that came down today. Now, of course, you can find out more information on our iOS tab on GameSpot.com, but we'll have up later on a short video preview of the content on GameSpot's YouTube channel. So if you're interested, you got a mobile device you're rocking the Infinity Blade, you're curious, be sure to check it out. Now, as previously teased, it's Tor Thorson here for the news.
Hello, how's it going?
Hey, Tor, welcome.
Welcome.
You've got the clipboard, you got the highlighter.
I've got the clipboard and the highlighter. I guess that means it's news time.
It's news time.
Okay, first up this week, yesterday over the weekend, for those people who don't know out there, the PlayStation Network was partially restored.
Yay!
But then yesterday there was a little bit of another security scare because for those people who don't know, to get back on the PlayStation Network, you have to reset your PlayStation Network ID. Not your ID, but your password.
Your password.
And
because it was stolen.
well, maybe not. You don't know. But it was compromised.
It was compromised.
So anyway, so one way to do that is via a website online, and so but there was an exploit. A bunch of hackers found an exploit on the website where if they had your date of birth and your email address, they could actually change your password.
Oh, really?
So they could go in there and change your password. So this was discovered.
And then good luck to you changing your password
because somebody else has your password. So Sony found out about it rather quickly, though, and yanked down this website, and they said they're working on it, and the fix will be in soon. So that was another kind of little, after all that scares, after all that security stuff.
Like, yay, they're back. Oh,
no, they're not. They got hacked.
No, they have another news title with the words PSN and hack in it.
Right. Speaking of other PlayStation Network updates, there was a report on Gamma Sutra today that the PlayStation Store will return next Tuesday, May 24th.
Okay.
So that's they're apparently Sony's not saying that in public. The official line they gave us was it'll be back by the end of the month, and everything else is speculation. But apparently, behind the scenes, they're telling all their development partners that it'll be back on Tuesday, May 24th.
So that people will be able to download stuff, buy stuff from the store
right.
if that goes through. Is it just going to be a torrent of all the stuff that they meant to release?
No, they're actually going to do it in 4 phases. They're going to do 4 semi-weekly updates. The first one's going to happen on Tuesday.
Okay.
And that's going to be all the stuff that was supposed to come out on April 26th. The second one is going to be on the Thursday, and then that was all the stuff that was supposed to come out on May 3rd. Then the following week, it's going to be all the stuff on May 31st and June 3rd. They're going to release stuff that was supposed to go live during the prior 3 weeks.
Okay.
So it's going to be
coming at an accelerated pace.
Right.
They're playing catch up.
It's going to be 2 a week instead of 1 a week, and then they're going to release a bunch of stuff. That their whole kind of gigantic backlog back then, and it also means that people can get the free games that you're supposed to be able to get.
That's right, the welcome back.
The welcome back games, and for those people who don't know what those are, the PS3 list for North America is you get 2 PS3 games and 2 PSP games. The PS3 games are Dead Nation, Infamous, Little Big Planet, Super Stardust HD, Wipeout HD, and Fury. And the PSP list is Little Big Planet for PSP, obviously, Mod Nation Racers, Pursuit Force, and Killzone Liberation. So you can choose 2 from each of those lists.
2 from each, and then you get them and download them, and you have them forever.
Forever.
And they're yours because our bad.
Yeah, sorry, people. Speaking of good deals, Microsoft announced today that anybody buying a PC worth $700 or more at participating retailers gets a free Xbox 360.
Really?
Yeah, you get the 4 gig, not the 250 gig.
Okay.
But and it's only at participating retailers, which include Dell.com, HP.com, and the Microsoft Store. But the catch is you
What's-
have to be a student.
Oh.
You had to have a .edu address or a valid student ID to qualify for it. So
I mean, I've got a .edu address. I haven't been at an edu in like.
you also have to provide.
7
You also
years,
have to.
but-
You also have to provide. You also have to provide. Proof that you're still a student.
What's okay? So
They
like
did. They didn't specify.
Okay.
I mean, you can walk into a physical retailer with a student ID and say,
show them your report card and
right.
be like,
I assume transcript or something like that.
okay.
But it's a pretty good deal if you're a starving student and you need a new computer and wouldn't mind a little leisure time in your dorm as
Hey,
well.
Mom, I heard Dell.com has some great deals.
Yeah, pretty
on
much.
computers. So yeah, let's check. Free Xbox. That's not a bad deal.
Speaking of money,
That's like hooking them early, right? Well,
What?
not
Yeah,
early, but
getting
you
them
know.
first taste is free.
Get them in there, yeah. Get a computer, get an Xbox. You're out of your parents' house. You're in college. Does this work for high school students too?
No, just college, I believe.
Okay.
So, speaking of money and Xbox Live, the new Xbox Live update went live today, and now you can buy stuff on Xbox Live with PayPal. Super awesome. I mean, if that's a big deal for you, a lot of people like the PayPal. I'm not really that fond of it, but anyway, so that's rolling out today, and it's going to roll out all over. Going to roll out all over regions soon. There are several regions you can't get it in, including Brazil, Chile, Colombia, the Czech Republic, Finland, Greece, Hungary, India, Japan, Russia, South Africa, South Korea, and Taiwan. But everywhere else, it'll get there eventually over the next couple of weeks. So
Sorry, GameSpot user Edu Buccaneer.
yeah, exactly. Also, the update. This also is going to add the new Xbox 360 disc format. It adds an extra. I think it's an extra gig to the disc.
That's right. They've had this in the works for a while.
Right. They've been doing a beta on it, but and there was a little bit of a scare saying because apparently there were some disk read errors being generated by Xbox 360s.
Yep.
But that was related to an earlier firmware update, not this firmware update.
Not the one that enables the new format.
Correct.
So this means games like LA Noire, which I think is on like 3 or 4 discs.
It's 3
for
discs.
360.
Yeah.
Maybe put it on 1 or 2.
No. Each it's based on the DVD format, and currently the regular DVD format holds about, I think it's 9.4 gigs. I may be wrong.
Okay, so not like a huge increase.
It's a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just because games are getting more complex. So.
All right.
Anyway, speaking of complex games, last but not least, Gears of War 3 pre-orders have now over 1 million units.
Really?
Which is the fastest pre-order rate of any Xbox 360 game in history.
That's brisk.
That's brisk. It is very brisk.
And the game doesn't come out till September. Yeah.
Though it was scheduled to come out in April, so some of those pre-orders probably happened back then. So that's a
interesting.
little bit tricky. Epic Games also released some stats all about the Gears of War beta that just completed, and 1.29 million people signed up from 145 countries participated in the beta, and they racked up 11 million matches that would have lasted 249 years if they had been played consecutively.
Just one group of people playing 249 years worth of Gears of War.
Pretty much.
Yowza. That's a lot. So that you could count that as a success, I would
That's
guess.
a success, yeah. It definitely shows a lot of interest in the game, and hopefully, that it's with that much testing, any potential bugs will have been squashed.
Yes. Here's hoping.
Here's hoping.
All right, Tor. That wrap it up for the news?
Yep.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Folks, if you want to learn more, of course, news.gamespot.com is the place to go. Now, I mentioned LA Noire just a moment ago. We have a starting block coming up for LA Noire. Help you, get your chops, like what your whistle, some detective phrase that I'm totally blowing right now. Curtis said has got some tips for you. Let's take a look, and then we're going to come back and play some LA Noire. Stay tuned.
LA Noire has arrived, and we're here to give you the 411 on putting criminals behind bars. Our starting block tips will provide some of the basics to apprehending murderers, crooks, and hustlers. You'll be given a notebook containing key locations and evidence that pertains to your case. You can highlight these locations of interest to provide waypoints on your map. In most cases, you can fast travel by asking your partner to drive by holding down the Enter Vehicle button.
Can you drive to this one?
But if you're in a chase or scouting for clues, you'll need to be the one behind the wheel. Even when following a lead, many individuals will frequently attempt to resist arrest. This can often mean pursuing after them on foot. Most often the suspects will be unarmed, using the winding streets, back alleys, and high rooftops to stay on the lam. Your partner will sometimes try to cut off the escape routes and draw the chase to a close. However, you can also end foot pursuits early by getting in close and tackling a suspect to the ground. Keep in mind you'll want to attempt such a feat while on the ground. While climbing up stairs, drain pipes, or ladders, criminals will automatically kick you away when you're about to nab them. If the enemy is armed or a known killer, you'll be given the right to use deadly force with your pistol. Taking a shot on the run will slow down your movement considerably. Instead of trying to shoot around corners or obstacles, wait for the suspect to run down a long passageway before firing.
Too late, Kalu!
If you can't take down a fleeing criminal with your shots, they may take a hostage at gunpoint. In these cases, it's all about precision marksmanship to stop the bad guy and rescue the innocent. Other criminals lack the tact to run, and are more inclined to a 10-finger knuckle dusting. The best strategy when fistfighting is to block and counter with your own barrage of jabs. If the enemy is stunned enough, a grapple is a good means of dealing serious damage. You can also pull off finishers to end the dance early. Once a suspect is captured or a witness is calmed, you'll need to question them and find out their side of the story. People both innocent and guilty will often lie or tell half-truths. They give off visual tells ranging from wandering eyes, uncontrollable blinking, pausing, stuttering, and awkward body language. If you have an actual piece of evidence, call them out on their lies.
You're lying, Morgan. You were there.
Other times you won't have proof of their lies, but can still doubt their honesty and press for the actual truth.
I think you know where the ring came from, and I think you're going to tell me. Okay.
Some characters might even give off false tells, leading you to question their intentions when they're stating the facts. If you really need to, spend intuition points to eliminate incorrect clues and leads. If intuition eliminates every available answer, you'll need to backtrack and re-examine past crime scenes to discover missing evidence. Case after case gets tougher and trickier for a gumshoe, but they all lead to desk promotions and the answers to the biggest mysteries plaguing the streets of Los Angeles.
And as promised, we've got more LA Noire courtesy of Carolyn Pettit.
Yes.
Carolyn, welcome to the stage.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Excellent. LA Noire,
Yes.
you've played a lot of this game.
I have. I've played it for review. I think it's awesome. In fact, I think it's so awesome that the day it came out, I went and bought a copy and started playing it from the beginning.
Really?
All over again.
How's it been working out the second time around? Are you like aces?
I'm still screwing up. You know, some of these people are really tough to read, and so I'll think, oh, are they lying to me? I just don't know. And so it's still fresh and interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, Chris, here's the problem right
Okay.
now.
All
There
right.
is some military-grade morphine on the streets.
Wow.
It's killing hopheads left and right, and LAPD Detective Cole
Tragic.
Phelps is trying to get to the bottom of this, to the source.
Yeah, got to
Now-
find the supply.
Exactly.
Cut it off.
So Ryan McDonald did a Now Playing a few days ago. He played basically up to this point in the case, this particular case, so we're just kind of picking it up from where he left off.
Oh, excellent.
So he ended basically with Phelps and his partner. Phelps having some trouble walking right now. With Phelps and his partner putting the squeeze on a low level, guy just supplying the morphine, and now that guy kind of tipped us off to check out this office. So we're gonna go in here and see if we can find out some more about what's going on here. Right this way.
Hey, who let you in?
So you stroll up in here.
Yeah.
Who let you in? I let myself in. Do you find yourself like improvising tough cop lines, or did they give you enough till you don't need to?
There's plenty, a good supply here in the game. So this is the guy we've been tipped off to investigate, and he's obviously a smooth character here.
Not intimidated by the LAPD.
And he's got a way with words.
Cheeky.
And that's my current partner, Roy Earl. Oh,
And so now you go into
this is
investigation mode, or it's just kind of, it's not like, now entering investigation. It's like, take a look around.
yeah,
So you
it's
take a look
it's
around.
seamless. I mean,
Nice.
there's usually there'll be musical cues, and so you can kind of check stuff out. Okay, here we got a radio. I know there was, I believe,
My father has a
a
Scott.
clue earlier, something to do with a radio frequency. I'm going to see if I have that in my notebook here.
Oh yeah, you just pull out your handy little.
Yeah, radio station note here. Okay, there was a note found earlier. It says that JJ always listens to 275 FM. So, Let's
Tune in.
Yeah, let's tune into 275. If we can close our notebook there, Cole. All right, what do we got here? Okay.
That looks like the. Oh, turn it on. Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
All right, let's see here. We've got to get it on FM.
And so we're looking at this. Now, LA Noire, one of the great things you loved about it, you praised about it, was its attention to detail and realism in sort of that period. So we're looking at this Radio Deluxe.
Yeah.
Can we presume that this is an actual radio thing that we might have, that people could have seen in the 50s?
I don't. It's certainly. So obviously, this guy's got a big
wow.
stash of morphine in his radio.
That's his favorite radio station.
Yes. And now he's going to call his hopped up cronies.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Heard the boss.
So we're gonna throw down with these guys.
They're wiping the gunk out of their eyes.
Oh, you knocked off my hat. Nobody knocks off the hat of Cole Phelps of the LAPD.
Oh, wow.
Yes, except maybe you. Okay. Oh, yeah.
You're making
All
me
right.
and my partner over
His
there.
files
like
are
it might be
disrupted.
Down for the count. Can I help out my partner here? All right.
Sit tight, asshole. Pretend you're at the parlor getting your nails
So
done.
fisticuffs.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, it's simple stuff, but you know, it's nice to have a little brawl every now and then.
Yeah. Put one right on his chin.
Yeah. So yeah, as you can see, so now we've got, you know, big wad of cash. You can always kind of move things around in your hands, just get a real good look at them.
Nice. Now, is that like something slips out of it if you move it the right way?
It's often like, so for instance, Cole might be, say, investigating a gun, and if you turn it the right way, like a serial number or some other piece of key information will become visible, and the camera will zoom in on it. All right, that's just a big bag of drugs. We can put that back down.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Keep it. Stay on the straight and narrow. All right.
Those two bums standing guard.
And yeah, morphine, syringe. So a lot of the game, you know, is it's not a constant just action, you know, fest. It's in many ways it's an adventure game. It's, you know, you spend a lot of time just examining things, collecting clues, and just kind of trying to figure out, you know, what that stuff all means. And also now I'll just I think I can finally talk to this guy a little bit, and talking to people is also a big part of the LA Noire experience.
And voice acting.
Voice acting, I mean, and actually the game goes beyond voice acting. I mean, in a way, these faces are all, you know, motion captured. Their performances by real actors. Cole Phelps, you know, some may recognize from his role on Mad Men. He's played by the actor Aaron Staton.
I'll give you 50 years for your two buddies.
Yeah.
Another 30 for stealing.
Now we've got, while we're sort of investigating this case, we've got a question coming in through the chat room from Thribs, wondering how many cases are there over the course? Is that an easy number to remember?
Yeah, you know, I think, I mean, don't quote me on this precisely, but I think there's 17 sort of substantial cases. There's also maybe 4 that you do that are kind of tutorial cases early on that are very narrow because they're just trying to familiarize you with the mechanics. Okay. But then there's 17, you know, good meaty cases
that sort of take you around town, involve multiple
yes, exactly.
interrogations and investigations.
Yeah, multi-step, you know, investigation to take you from place to place. Okay. So when a character says, so this guy says he doesn't know anything about the morphine. You know, you have these 3 options. This guy's obviously not telling the truth. Now, there's the difference between doubt and lie is a little tricky at times, but it's basically if you have some evidence to back up your your intuition, your feelings, or your accusation, then you want to choose lie. Whereas if you don't really have a specific piece of investigation, you would go with doubt. And I think I have some evidence here to maybe prove that this guy's lying. So I'm gonna.
You and your cronies
are gonna call him out.
Yeah.
And so you try to stick it to him here, basically, and that'll maybe unsettle him more.
I look like some kind of criminal genius to you. That what he's saying, motherfucker?
So.
Prove that I was in San Pedro and that I stole that shit.
I don't know if you can prove that he was in San Pedro.
Yeah, see, that's a tall order. I don't know if I can do that. He does have this more. You know what? I'm gonna back out of that. No, I guess I.
Because he can't afford
I accidentally. Yeah, I made a false accusation there.
So it went awry. We've got a
Yeah.
question from Buzz Dugan Jr.
Yeah.
in the chat room, wondering about the difficulty level. You know,
Yeah.
like here, you thought you maybe had something
Yeah.
on them, but you didn't.
Right.
Like, is it?
So
What's that like?
That's a good, yeah. It's difficult to get every question right to get a perfect result on a case. But what's cool about the game is that you don't have to be perfect. You can kind of screw up, and maybe you won't get every piece of evidence you need to get the full picture.
Okay.
But the game will still let you progress, and then maybe you won't get the best result at the end of a case. But after you've completed that case, you can then at any time just go back and give it another try, and kind of take what you learned maybe the previous time and shoot for a better result. So the story's going to progress, and it's not like, oh, you got that wrong, case failed, game over. So the difficulty level is forgiving, and it's actually kind of interesting to see the different ways things can play out if maybe you don't get a perfect performance on the case.
Or if you do totally nail it,
Yeah.
and then it'll change sort of how things
Oh
will
yeah,
go.
cases can play out in some really different and interesting ways based on your performance.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Carol, thanks so much for coming on, showing off some more LA Noire. And as she mentioned earlier, folks, if you want to see some more LA Noire, Ryan McDonald posted a Now Playing for that earlier this week. Plenty of LA Noire there for you to check out, as well, of course, as the video review.
Yes.
Up next, Brad Muir's back, and it is super button mashing time. This is Video Game History Month, as we were saying. So, check out. This is a special themed episode of Super Button Mashing. Hope you folks enjoy it.
It's time to mash buttons. When I say button, you say mashing button. You're gonna get super button mashing coming at ya.
Welcome everybody to Super Button Mashing, GameSpot's test of video game knowledge and skill. As you may be aware, it's Video Game History Month here on the site, and in keeping with that spirit, this episode of Super Button Mashing is all about retro games. I'm your host, Sean McInnes. Here is our sort of panel of guests, our contestants, our guys who we are about to put through the ringer, so to speak. We've got our Editor-in-Chief, Ricardo Torres. Ricardo, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
We've got Reviews Editor, Tom McShay. And we've got a special guest here from Double Fine, Brad Muir. Brad, you are the project director on Trenched, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm the project lead on Trenched.
All right, cool. So for anybody out there who's not familiar with Trenched, can you go ahead and let everybody know what this game is all about?
Yeah, it's a downloadable title coming to Xbox Live Arcade this year sometime. I'll let you know when we have a release date. But it's a third-person mech shooter where we mix in tower defense elements. So it's like 4-player cooperative over live. And so you can just, gather together, customize your mechs. We call them mobile trenches.
Cool.
These big open-top mechs that the players drive around. And you'll team up, take on missions, and you fight these crazy, twisted television monsters.
All right. Well, I hope you found some time outside of working on that game to study up on your retro video game knowledge.
I have not. So,
all right.
Yeah, I'm pretty terrified of this, but
cool.
Yeah, I hope it goes
well. Best of luck,
I'm a little
anyways.
bit afraid of these guys, but
The worst
right.
that could happen is you embarrass yourself in front of the internet.
Yeah, that's fine. How many people are watching this?
I'd like 3.
Just the internet.
A lot.
3 or 4.
The whole internet?
All of our moms are watching it. Let's go ahead and get this started. All right, so now that you've been introduced to our contestants, let's introduce you guys to the categories. Here we go here. The first category that we've got is called Playing with Power. The next category, Welcome to the Next Level. After that, it's Gaming on the Go. Then we've got Video Games and Movies. After that, we've got Arcades, parentheses, Remember Them? Maybe you guys do, probably, hopefully. And last but not least, we've got Power Glove and other nonsense. Not to imply that the Power Glove was nonsense, because it was totally bad.
It is.
It is so bad. Brad, since you're our special guest, why don't you go ahead and kick it off
thank you.
Choose the category and the amount.
I'll go with Power Glove and other nonsense for 100.
All right. Let's take a look at that. B-17 Bomber was one of just 4 games released for the Intellivision that required this peripheral. Ooh. Tom McShay buzzing in.
Is it the speaking peripheral?
Is it the speaking peripheral?
It speaks.
IntelliVoice.
Yes?
Let's go ahead and give him that one.
That seems okay with me.
Speaking
All
of
right.
how did you vague?
Tom
I
McShay.
gave it away. It had said right in the box.
Is it the thing that plugged into the machine?
It's the thing that plugged into the thing and then it spoke to you.
That's what I was thinking.
Tom McShay, you get to pick the next one.
I'm going to go with Playing with Power for 100.
All right, let's take a look. What is the full name of the robot who got your gyro spinning in Gyromite? Who got your gyro spinning?
Did you already buzz in?
Oh,
I think that he buzzed in.
Oh, did you buzz in, Tom?
I guess
Buzz in
I
again,
did.
real quick. All right, Tom.
Isn't it just Rob the Robot?
Robotic Operating Buddy, you are correct, Tom.
Maybe.
Robotic Operating Buddy? Is that not it, Ricardo?
What do you think?
I wouldn't.
Rob?
I wouldn't have.
Everybody,
I don't know.
the judges say yes.
They're very kind.
All
The
right.
off-screen judges say yes.
I thought they were going for the full name.
Okay, let's go to...
I knew it was Rob the Robot. I knew that.
Don't worry, you'll get credit when you just give like a letter.
Let's go to Welcome to the Next Level for 500.
Oh, I like your style, Tom. No point. You don't have to start with 100. You can just go to 500. This classic driving game let you tune your radio into splash wave, passing breeze, or magical sound shower. Ooh.
Is it Outrun?
Outrun. Wow. Tom McShay.
Nice one, Tom.
Doing pretty
nice one,
well
Tom.
so far.
Let's go with Arcades for 3.
For 3, okay. Arcade cabinets for this game had an internal coil that hit the cabinet wall to make a loud impact noise when your character fell off of the pyramid.
Qbert.
Hey, Brad Meir gets his first correct question.
Go, Brad.
Oh, I'll
It's your
take,
chance to take another one.
Playing with Power 200.
And with Power 200. Which Super Mario Bros. 3 suit let players swim in any direction?
Frog. The frog suit.
Frog suit is correct.
We'll go 400 Playing with Power.
400 Playing with Power. All right. This Blastmaster vehicle shares its name with a GameSpot staff member.
Sophia.
Hey,
And I don't even
Sophia.
work here!
All right.
All right.
You had no idea there was a Sophia
I know.
Tom
Wait, why didn't you guys
in
know that?
employ.
I thought it was a Tom.
Okay, sorry, I'm not. I don't want to make you guys look bad
it was
in
a
front of
Sean.
Sophia.
Brad, what's it gonna be?
Okay,
We
cool. Let's go. Where are we going? How about Playing with Power 300?
A typo in the third game of what series names heroes as Bimmy and Jimmy?
Oh my god.
Nintendo.
Ooh. Oh, Tom McShay.
Double Dragon.
Double Dragon is correct. Tom McShay, an encyclopedic knowledge
Wow,
of dragons
Let's-
and bimmies.
Let's go with the Power Glove for 2.
This disastrous 1995 console had players seeing red.
Virtual Boy.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice work, Tom.
Ricardo, what's going on?
Let's go with...
Ricardo Torres.
Poor reflexes.
Let's,
You wanna-
Ricardo, let's make sure your buzzer still works.
There you go.
Ooh.
It's even worse.
Still does. Still
So,
works.
Power Glove for 3.
Power Glove for 300. A character in The Wizard was being very honest when he described this peripheral as so bad. Brad?
Lucas?
Oh, you... That,
Wait, what?
That,
Oh, that's a
Character.
He went
I
with
thought
the
you wanted the
character.
character.
He went with the
Oh, I'm
character.
sorry.
you know what? We're going to give that to you. We're going to give that to you.
Alright.
Let's give those points to Brad.
Oh my god, you guys are generous. You guys are generous.
We want to keep it close.
I like this show.
All right.
Okay,
Brad?
we'll go Power Glove 400.
Power Glove 400.
Notice my reading comprehension is
Nintendo
bad.
sued the distributors of this peripheral, claiming it created derivative works in violation of copyright law. That would be Brad again.
Game Genie?
Game Genie is correct. Very fine work, Brad.
Did we get 500 on this?
500, I think, is the last one left. You want to?
Okay, let's do that.
That's not a
Right.
nonsense peripheral.
Bucker and Garcia's songs include "Do the Donkey Kong," "Ode to a Centipede," and this their biggest hit. Ricardo technically
That was a little
buzzed in
whatever.
before I
Seriously?
finished, but
Making sure.
You get it.
all right.
It's Pac-Man fever.
Pac-Man Fever.
Judges
All right.
might want to keep an eye on when the green light goes on. In the future. Just, you know.
We're gonna give him that just
knew that
for the
one.
sake
So you
of
have stuff.
competitive equality.
know that.
Ricardo, it's you got some choices here. What's it gonna be?
Let's do arcades for 400.
Arcades for 400. We'll find out. When Donkey Kong hit arcades in 1981, the hero's name was not yet Mario. What was it?
Jumpman.
Jumpman is correct. Very good work,
Let's
Tom.
go with... let's finish Playing with Power.
Entering what sequence commonly referred to as the Konami code got you 30 lives in Contra and blew up your ship in Gradius 3?
up, up, down, down, left, right, B8.
There you go.
The monitor.
That's the one. That is the one.
We all need that.
It's a ragtag operation.
Let's go. Let's go gaming on the go for 1.
Gaming on the go for 100. This GBA puzzle game by Rare was originally developed as Donkey Kong Coconut Crackers.
It's Mr. Pants.
It is Mr. Pants.
Let's go with Welcome to the Next Level for 4 G's.
4G. That's technically 4 hundo. 4 hundo, if you want to use
incorrect.
The parlance of our times.
Okay, we're tearing this up.
All right, welcome to the next level. The Genesis version of this Capcom arcade hit was advertised as one of the first 8 megabit cartridges for the system.
Strider?
Strider it is! You guys are doing very well.
Back when 8 megabits was huge.
That's a trench.
2 megabytes
as well. That's what we started using as our new standard for all Double Fine's games.
Yeah.
8 megabits.
We'll do arcades for 200.
Arcades for 200 it is. What Bally Midway Pac-Man spin-off combined video gameplay with pinball and was not authorized by Namco? Brad?
Baby Pac-Man?
Baby Pac-Man. I have never heard of that.
Dude, were you trying to bug me there? You knew that one.
No idea. No idea.
Okay, welcome to that. No, let's go gaming on the go. 200.
200. Games in the King of Fighters and Samurai Showdown series were among the bigger hits on this SNK handheld. Ricardo?
Neo Geo Pocket or Neo Geo Pocket Color.
Neo Geo Pocket.
Wow.
Right.
I was thinking, very robust answer, Ricardo.
I was like MGP.
Covering all your bases.
MGP, that's something else.
And with that, we have reached the end of our timer for the first round. You guys got a lot of those questions correct. I'm very impressed by your robust knowledge of retro
really
gaming.
This guy, though, Tom?
This is Sean's nice way of saying we are either old or big nerds.
Thanks. Are you both of them? You don't look that old. Thanks. That's a compliment.
The haggard 18 over there on that.
And with that, the conclusion of Brain Bust, let's go ahead and refresh you guys on the current points tallies. We've got Tom McShay with 2,000 points. Very nice work, Tom. Brad Muir just a hair ahead of him at 2,100. And Ricardo Torres hanging out in third place. Not out of the game by any stretch with 1,100 points. You guys are definitely... You're definitely doing pretty well. All 3 of you guys. We're going to go out and get Capri Suns and little oranges and snacky cakes after the game. So, great work, everybody.
It's time to mash buttons. When I say button, you say mashing button. Button. You're gonna get super button mashing coming at ya.
That was a pretty good contest. I like that.
Ricardo.
Good to see. I mean, thousands of points bandied about here in this action here, folks. You may have noticed that I've switched seats. That's because I got Maxwell McGee over here sitting down in the big chair in front of the computer for our 3rd demo of the day. This is just live demos galore.
A bevy of demos on today's show.
That is great use of that word, Maxwell.
It's a bevy.
Well done. What game you got there, man?
I've got The Witcher 2, which is the sequel to 2007's The Witcher, developed by Polish studio CD Projekt Red.
Very cool. Now, if you folks were watching on GameSpot earlier today, Tom McShay and Curtis said did a now playing for The Witcher 2, and Maxwell is here to show us a little something different part of the game.
I am.
Where are we at?
Trying to pick up where we left off last time, but it doesn't look like our king here wants to knock down these doors.
Come on,
so
King.
I'm just going to reload this save right quick.
You think he lost his motivation?
I know. While he was watching button mashing, he totally just spaced out.
It was absorbing. How did you do? Were you keeping up some of those questions?
I can understand why Ricardo was getting a bit rocked in the button mashing.
Yeah.
This can get kind of tough.
It's tough. There's so much video game history to draw from. And after this segment, we've got our latest edition of Video Game History Month video content coming at you, but stay tuned to figure out what that is. Now, Maxwell, you're reloading this save.
Here we go.
You've been playing a bunch of The Witcher 2. You're playing as Geralt, the Witcher.
Geralt of Rivia.
You are assaulting Levette soldiers.
Yes.
And this is like a siege warfare come to a head.
We are quelling a rebel uprising.
And you're alongside the king there, who's the guy in that fancy robe.
King Foltest, yes. And we are carving up these dudes. So yeah, I'm playing on easy right now because The Witcher can get pretty crazy hard with its combat. It expects you to use pretty much all the tools at your disposal and to be aware of them. Yes.
So otherwise, because you're a tough dude. Witchers are tough.
Man, he does not want to chop down this door.
Why don't you just chop it down with your sword?
I know. If I could just get up there.
Can you do it?
And just wail on it with my sword. No, I could save my game if I wanted to. Well, normally he's like, give me splinters. I'm chopping this door.
Dang it, full test.
I know. Look out. They've got their door chopping axes.
Talk.
All right.
No, you got to talk to him. Go talk to the king.
Oh.
No, I saw the prompt there.
I know. Well, it's just this guy. It's just the guy.
Now, those of you who caught that talk prompt there, you may have noticed it was a blue X. That's because Maxwell...
We are playing on a 360 controller.
He's got the 360 gamepad, or paddle, as we like to call it.
Going through these save states.
And, wow, that is a lot of saves.
Poor Kevin.
So it's a tough game. It's the kind of game you want to save a lot.
He's been breaking his hands over this game, literally. Destroying his poor fingers.
That's right.
Working on that review.
So The Witcher 2 came out earlier this week, but Kevin Van Ord has been working on the review since then. You know, a lot of times we get code early. We get started on these reviews so they come, the day of the game so you folks know when they come out. Other times we don't have that luxury, and this is one of those cases. So Kevin has been putting in like 30-hour days playing The Witcher 2. If you follow him on Twitter, you can
see some of his perhaps less than satisfied tweets. He's gotten a little frustrated.
Oh man, all right, what's going on now? Because you are totally fighting
So
dudes.
this is on the other side of that door that we had so much trouble going through.
Yes.
And now we're getting into a bit of a brawl here, and I was getting a bit rocked. So I'm going to step back here. I'm going to take a look at my spells and abilities. Now
this is just like a quick access menu.
Yeah, so I access this by holding down the left trigger. You've got these 5 spells. You've got them all.
Oh, that dude is coming up on you fast.
He is rolling up on you. You have access to all of them right from the start of the game, which is cool.
Oh, whoa!
He blocked me. Oh, okay.
Dude with the skull on his head.
But the one that I find is the most useful, get away from me, dude, I am trying to demonstrate spells, is the shield spell, which puts this little blue aura around you, and it protects you from incoming strikes. Like, see that guy? He's totally hitting me, but it's bouncing off my shield, allowing me to just carve him up like a turkey.
Nice. Now, you folks may have noticed the explanation pop up there on the right. We're still in the prologue of the game, so anyone who's sensitive to spoilers, you don't really need to worry about that. This is still very early going.
This will be literally like the second thing that you do in the game.
Wow, you slew that guy.
I rocked his face.
That was really nice.
So we got what we got? We got some loot over here, collecting some gold.
I think picking up some stuff.
The next thing we got to do is we got to get up these ladders.
I see your waypoint is behind you, though.
It is behind me. Maybe
do you have to climb up to it? Maybe it's above you.
No, I think I have to pass through that door from earlier.
Talk to the king and be like, "What up, king? Did you see me?
Did
you see me kill that guy?
Dudes.
Bestow your favor upon me."
What's up, king? We got to push you around a little bit here. Oh.
Talk to the man.
I know.
Nope.
It's just the guy again. They're having some trouble with this door.
All right, maybe go up that ladder and go on top of the thing.
Yeah, but you gotta have the king come with you to trigger the scene and everything.
All right, so
we'll
let's
just pop
ahead
one more time.
That's the beauty of having approximately 72 save files. Is you can just jump around.
You can jump around to wherever you
show
need
different
to be.
stuff to you guys. So we're not. The computer that we used to be in the chat room is currently co-opted, but I've got this little thing in my ear. They're going to whisper questions to me. If you folks have them, you deliver it. They will ask, and I will answer, or I will make Maxwell answer. And if
I will do my best.
Flogging? I don't know. I don't think we have permission to do that on the set.
All right, let's see what happens with this one.
So when you say difficult, you've got some spells. You've got your sword. You've got. Do you ever carry a shield? But you can block.
You can block. You can block, and you can parry. So you don't really haul around a shield. Oh no. Okay. So this poor woman, bless her heart, she just got shut down. We are in the we're in the inner castle walls here in this little city that belonged to the rebels. Our army's here. They are totally rocking the place. We got these.
Are they murdering women, or was that someone else?
They are kind of going around and murdering civilians. Right now, what we're trying to do is...
So you're maybe not like with the... It's not necessarily the good guys you're fighting with here.
Well, I mean, I guess technically they're the good guys. They're just kind of being jerks.
Yeah.
Like they're want to be. But we're trying to get through this castle gate up here.
Yes.
And Geralt has been sent to find a secret passage. We've heard rumor of a secret passage somewhere in the city. So as we're running through here, we see this poor woman get shot. And if we go inside... Oh goodness. There are some soldiers, and they are harassing... these poor, simple townsfolk.
Gold and silver on the table.
Who just want to be left alone. So here comes Geralt with his giant chin.
This is the pillaging part of
So what should I say here? What should I say? I can be like, you need to get out and leave these people alone. I can be really mean about it.
They just murdered that woman. Get out or die, you scoundrels.
Right.
Oh, yeah. See? That's nice.
Shut him down. New ability, intimidation. I'd be intimidated of Geralt even without the ability intimidation. He's a scary looking
Look at him.
dude.
He's got that scar. He's got these, I don't know if you folks can see him real well. He's got these like yellow cat eyes.
I'm going to go ahead and extort money from him because I'm going to be a total jerk. Because Geralt, he's kind of a jerk. There we go.
He saved their lives. They are happy to pay it.
For some coin.
Oh, you're not going to find your wife, homie.
Yeah, no, she kind of got rocked right outside, but...
So you prevented the civilians from being
I prevented
murdered.
Some civilians. There's another
And you get some
instance.
experience points.
I do. I get some experience. Let's see if I can hit up the meditation thing from here. There we go. We'll take a quiet moment and take a look.
Oh, wow. You are taking a
I
quiet
know,
moment.
just right there by the campfire. So here, we can take a look at our character. I don't have any talents to spend, but this menu here shows
You're a very talented man, Maxwell. Don't sell yourself short.
Well, I need more points.
Okay.
I just need more
points. You could use more points.
But you've got these 4 trees. These 3 are locked from the beginning.
Swordsmanship, alchemy, magic.
And magic. So
and training.
Right now we just got the basic Witcher tree. I'm glad to see Kevin went ahead and picked up the extra health bonus. That's always important and is what I would have chosen. You can also brew up new potions with alchemy. You can meditate to skip the clock ahead. And you can drink potions, which I'm going to do right now, actually, because I'm about to fight a dude, and I'm going to need some extra help. The game expects you to
Do you have a cat potion?
I do have a cat potion. It lets you see through walls, and your heart beats like crazy fast. But I'm going to drink this swallow potion. It's going to give me some extra health.
Okay.
Or some extra health regeneration, I should say. So yeah, the game expects you to use all these tools that you have at your disposal.
Oh, Geralt, come on, man.
At all times. So I've got my potion to boost my health. I'm going to get my magic. I got my
Mix it up.
I got my shield spell all set to go. But I'm going to go
Use
with
a different speed
I'm going to go
spell.
with fire.
Yeah.
Fire's always good. And then I'm going to bust my sword out here, and we're going to go carve up a dude. Let's see. I believe it's this poor guy here.
Business here.
Oh, what? And I believe I do have business here because I'm Geralt.
Yeah. They're with the lavalettes. Weeds that need to be ripped out with their roots so they won't grow back again.
Nice metaphor, soldier. At least he's got colorful language.
There's our nice in the weed shot there.
Stay out of this.
Got a little cinematic flair.
Won't stand by while you murder innocents.
So, what'll you do?
I think you know what I'm going to do.
Give you a power shove.
I was not after your blood. I have witnesses.
Set him on fire. Set him on fire.
Oh, so here we go. All right. So I'm totally going to set this dude on fire there. I parried a blow. Very important. I also rolled into his sword, which is not quite as important.
Not your best
work. And then boom, I'm going to pop him with the fire.
Clang.
So here we go. You hold down. I'm holding down right trigger to bring up my thing to block. Whenever I cast a spell or use the parry command, it will drain a bit of a 2-section meter I have there. You see I have 1 section of that small.
Just under the red health bar is
just
your,
below
like,
my red health
vitality
bar.
meter or something.
Yes.
Wow. This is a duel.
Yes. Positioning in battle is very important.
Oh, okay.
He's bowing to me because I carved up his gut a little bit there.
Let the people out and walk away.
Unblock the
These
door.
one-on-one fights aren't too bad, but when you fight like 3, 4, 5 guys at once, it's very important to watch your positioning. If you get people coming up behind you or flanking you on the sides, you can get overwhelmed super quickly. They can just bounce you back and forth like a rag doll with their swords, and you will go down real fast.
So to wrap it up here, Maxwell, are you liking it? Do you like it's tough. It's not easy.
It is a brutal game.
But are you liking it? Is it that kind of challenge where it's a little frustrating? Obviously, it can be frustrating.
It's a little frustrating, but it's that kind of frustrating where when you beat your head against that wall long enough and you finally come out the victor and you cut down the dude and you're like, yeah, I just rocked your face. You feel so good afterwards. So good.
That sounds satisfying. Maxwell McGee, thank you so much for showing off some more Witcher 2.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And as I mentioned before, folks, if you like The Witcher 2, check out the Now Playing we aired earlier with Tom McShay and Curtis Said, and keep an eye on the site for Kevin Van Ord's review coming soon. Now up next, as I mentioned, it's Video Game History Month, as I mentioned every show this month. Today we're looking at Mortal Kombat. Perhaps you've heard of it. We're looking at the series past. We have a whole big feature on this. This is just a taste of what we've got in store for you folks who like Mortal Kombat, who like the history of games. So check it out.
In 1992, following the success of Capcom's Street Fighter II, Midway Games released Mortal Kombat. The game would go on to change the way violence was viewed in video games, spawn seemingly countless sequels, and kick off a 19-year run that still holds strong today.
So I clearly remember when Mortal Kombat was coming to the arcades, and I know that sounds weird because like how could I possibly know Mortal Kombat was coming to the arcades before it came out? It's because we were way into Street Fighter. Like we were like at the arcades like every day. You know, we knew everybody there, including the arcade operator, and so he was the guy that would straight up tell us about, you know, the new games coming out. So we were playing Street Fighter one day, and he straight up was rolling in like, I don't know, you know, World Heroes or something. But I remember him telling us there was a new game that he saw that was going to be coming in like in a week or whatever, and it was a lot like Street Fighter, except it was with real people, and there was blood, and like he pretty much had us at real people. We're like, whatever, Street Fighter with real people, that sounds awesome.
First time I saw it in arcades was, I guess, maybe my freshman year of high school. And I saw it in some arcade in Dallas, and it was like, hey, those guys, they're all, like, realistic looking. It's that weird digitized thing.
And I saw on the corner that there was this game that had digitized characters, and my first thought was, oh, hey, it's a new Pit Fighter. Because Pit Fighter has kind of the same visual style as Mortal Kombat, and then I looked closer and I'm like, whoa, no, this is a new fighting game. This is kind of crazy.
I think the first time I saw it, it was on a machine that had the violence dip switch switched off, which might have explained why I wasn't all that interested. But then once it was like, wow, so I just uppercut this guy, and then he like falls off the ledge and gets impaled on spikes, and man, that's pretty wild. That game was kind of like a bombshell in the arcade scene at that time, just because nothing else that I had seen or played was you know, just gruesomely over the top like that.
I think one of the great things about Mortal Kombat is just that were so many kind of hidden things about it. The kind of things that where you only knew how to do something if you heard from a friend of a friend that you could do it.
It was probably about, like, it must have been maybe like 2 or 3 days that, you know, the machine had been in the arcade, and it was the first time that somebody had done it by accident. It was a Scorpion, of course, and somebody straight up at the end of the fight. You know, because like it was clear that there was some kind of call to action. It was like, finish him, right? And it was like, it seems like there is something that should happen, but we punch the dude, kick the dude, and be like, ha, right? But the first time that somebody did the Scorpion fatality by accident, and you know, Scorpion strip rips open that cowl and boom, you know, lights that dude on fire, and he turns into a skeleton and falls to the ground. I mean, it was. I mean, I'll never forget it.
So what was funny was that people were trying to do the fatalities. They knew that they were in there, but they didn't really know how to do them. So it was funny to watch people kind of just try different stuff out, and then just the end result was just a quick punch or something. But then I remember the first time that somebody did Kano's fatality, where he reaches in and grabs their heart and, you know, holds it up, and the place went nuts. People were just like, oh my god! It was just so violent and so amazing. Everybody was just going crazy.
I wound up being a pretty big fan of the first game, but I recognized that it was really simple. You know, just about every character had a projectile, and then they had like a charging across the screen attack, and all their jumping attacks were pretty much interchangeable. So I had a lot of fun with it, and I really enjoyed it, and I was like looking forward to the home versions, but it was Mortal Kombat 2 is when I just like totally flipped out about it.
Fight.
It wasn't until MK2 that it, like, really clicked for me. And I actually printed up, like, sheets of all the moves, and I'd sell them to the kids around me for like $1. It's like, you know, just more quarters so I could play. But then I had all the move lists, and I was like bringing out Kung Lao, who I thought was like so awesome. He had that cool hat.
If you folks want more Mortal Kombat, be sure to check back later today for the full version of that Video Game History Month piece. But for now, Justin Calvert's on the scene, and we are talking race cars. Justin, welcome to the set.
Hey, Chris. Long time no see.
I know. Trying you out on the spot live. Yeah. And you got a controller in your hand because you're here to show off.
I'm here to show off Dirt 3.
Excellent. And Dirt 3, so third in the series, rally cars.
Wow, you know everything.
I'm so knowledgeable. I'm a professional. I don't know if you knew that. So Dirt 3 got there's some neat stuff. What are we seeing today? Give
It does,
folks
yeah. So it's so if you played Dirt 2, you'll feel right at home here. But they've added a pretty good amount of new stuff. One of the things I want to show off first here is a Gymkhana event. This is brand new to Dirt, and I can't personally think of any other kind of racing games that have featured this kind of stuff. This is the stuff that Ken Block does. He's become very famous for doing it.
Did he sort of pioneer it?
Yeah, he really did. And so to give you some idea about the gameplay, it's like just imagine kind of Tony Hawk, but in car. Oh, sorry, when Tony Hawk was good.
Okay.
When the Tony Hawk games were good.
It's an important clarification.
Yeah. So so it's all about like performing. A kind of score multiplier, but the second you crash your car or even like touch something with it, you lose a multiplier.
Bye-bye multiplier.
Yeah, and I think it maxes out at ×3, but yeah, if you can get like a clean run going, you can rack up some really good scores. We'll see if I do that now.
All right, so there's clearly not going to be any half pipes, but what kind of what kind of stuff?
So that
Smash.
gets me points. Oh man, you know what? Okay, there we go. That's a good start. So
there goes your multiplier.
This here is where I need to spin, and I need to spin.
There goes your multiplier.
Inside there. Okay, that's done.
Nice.
Here I can do donuts if I don't mess them up. There we go.
Nice.
Okay, that's a donut.
Good touch.
I won't do another donut there. That's the yellow poles are just for drifting in between.
Oh, so if you just drift, in between them, so it's not a smash, it's a...
Touch that. So, and these are for drifting in between as well, like so. And so another thing that happens is if you keep just doing the same tricks, you'll get less points for them because it becomes, like the action becomes stale, and so the crowd isn't behind you in the same way. So you have to mix it up, like you have to keep kind of moving around the arena, using the different. Try this drift over here. Oh, that's not going to be good. Yeah, that didn't go so well.
Not the best line into that drift area. But all right, so it fills up this sort of Triforce at the top of the screen. For lack of a
you
better
fill
word.
that up, and then that basically, once you've done that, you've maxed out on that particular trick. So yeah, ×2. Come on, see if I can get a ×3 multiplier.
And this is just when I saw you playing this in your office earlier. It was a different arena.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different arenas, and they actually. Oh wow, that's one of the worst times I've done. The worst scores I've had for a while.
It's the talk and play.
It is, and it's also having no audio. But there you go. So that's that anyway. And
so
you can,
audio engine noise is huge.
It definitely helps.
Yeah.
So that's Gymkhana. There's a bunch of different arenas, and you can. There's also a multiplayer version of that, and you all play simultaneously, but everyone else is a ghost.
So you can see them, but they're not interrupting.
They're
your
not going to
drift.
interfere with you.
That's good.
But you do see their scores updating in real time, so you know like how well you're doing, in relation to them.
How many players in that mode do you?
You know what? I think it was 8. Yeah, the session I played yesterday was 8. I'm not sure if that's the maximum, but I would imagine it probably is.
Is that the session you were half playing that and half playing Half-Life Deathmatch with us?
Yes.
You're like jumping back and forth between them?
Pretty much. So the next I was going to show, I was going to show Rally Cross, but I want to show one. I don't want to show one in LA again. I want to show this one.
Aspen?
In Aspen.
All right.
So one of the reasons I like this is it has retro cars. So I get to choose 80s, 70s, or 60s.
Nice. So what's your decade of choice?
I like the really old stuff, and I kind of like these minis. So.
Well, while that's loading up, we got a couple questions coming in through the chat room. What do we have here? Jarrell Rass wants to know, about car classes or racing classes. You showed us the decades. I mean, this car's going to handle differently than the car you were just driving.
Oh yeah, very differently. Yeah, they have the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, S2000, Group B. I want to say that's all the ones that I've had so far. Oh no, but then there's also like Land Rush kind of trucks and buggies.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff. And I'm still unlocking cars as I progress, and I've already put hours and hours into this game.
So there you go, Jarrell. A lot of cars. Folks are asking about the PC version, because that was Dirt 2 PC version was notably just gorgeous.
Yeah, so we're actually not going to get to play that one until it comes out, is my understanding right now. They're not sending out any codes early for that one.
And so, because we're playing, this is an early code.
This is a retail copy
that
we're reviewing, but yeah, we're not going to have access to the PC version at all.
But the game doesn't actually come out until
It comes out next Tuesday. And actually the PS3 version, I'll just point out that to access online play on both consoles, you first have to redeem a code that comes in the box.
Okay.
It's currently not possible to redeem that code on PS3.
So
if you're kind of torn between the two versions on launch day, and assuming the PSN store is still down, then that might be a consideration.
The safer bet for online play on day one might be the 360.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, I've played some of the PS3 version as well, and they're identical as far as I can tell. But yeah, that's just one consideration maybe.
Now I was half expecting you to go off a ski jump at the end of that long.
There is a jump coming up in a second.
Oh, excellent!
But it's not a ski jump.
That would be, I suppose that would be kind of disastrous in a car.
Here we go. Definitely not a ski jump.
Oh, that's all right though. It's not too shabby.
Yeah. So head-to-head. The way these races work is that you both basically start at opposite ends of this very elaborate circuit, and then, like I did just then, you just get to kind of see each other occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually a fun event they've thrown in where you're competing against a bobsled.
Against a bobsled?
Yeah. I think that might be taken from Top Gear or something, but yeah, you're in a mini in that one as well. You have to race down the hill and get there quicker than a bobsled.
So Dirt 3, as racing against a bobsled has got you got a sense of humor about it, right?
Yeah.
This is not, a super taking everything very seriously type game. I mean, the physics and everything, that is super serious.
I mean, it's definitely, I mean, I'm still racing with a couple of the assists turned on right now.
Mm-hmm.
They've added even more assists now, so you can have the kind of line like Forza introduced, and you can have all that kind of stuff. But then if you turn everything off, then it definitely gets to be more of a sim. Like, the damage is very realistic.
Yep.
You can choose whether that's just visual or whether it actually impacts the performance.
Impacts the way the car runs.
Yeah, there's a lot of options.
Very cool. All right. Folks, while Justin loads up another dirt track, we are coming to the end of our show here, so I'm going to throw in the trivia question. Today, we are giving away codes to download on Xbox 360 a new table for Pinball FX 2. Justin, Pinball FX 2, you're a pinball kind of guy?
Yes.
You like that game?
Yeah, I'm sure I must have played it.
Yeah.
I mean, all those pinball games blur into one eventually.
But Pinball FX 2, lots of tables. The one we're giving away today is the latest Fantastic Four table. So that Marvel superheroes, you want them on your table. You want to see what kind of flipper action you can get into there. Here's the question you're going to need to answer. Which bosses will be found in the latest Fantastic Four pinball table? So send your answers to us using the answer trivia button on the page right there under the join the chat button on the side, or shoot us an email to onthespot@gamespot.com. And of course, trivia is only available for those who are watching this live, not those of you who are checking this out on demand. Now, Justin, we're getting into one last thing here. Now, before I tease, and send us off, what are you showing off here? What's our last taste of Dirt 3 for the weekend?
Okay, I think I'm gonna go. So let's go a little later in the career mode here.
All right.
The career mode's pretty huge. It's like 4 entire seasons plus a bunch of extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is Winter X Games. Let's do Land Rush. This is probably going to be in either buggies or trucks. I think here we go.
Is that a truck or a buggy?
This is a truck.
All right. Does it actually have, space to carry things in it?
Maybe an extra wheel or two.
Yeah. All right, folks, get your last questions in for Dirt 3. We are wrapping it up very shortly. So someone here was asking earlier about, Edgew Buccaneer was asking about Stratos in the game. Do you know what that is?
That's an old Lancia. I have not seen that car in the game yet, but as I mentioned, I do still. I think you max out at level 30 in this game, maybe, and I'm currently level 20, so I still have some way to go to unlock stuff. I would hope it's in there. They have the Lancia Delta in there. they have a good selection of retro stuff.
Very cool. All right, so here we go, folks. Truck race in Aspen. Does this actually happen? This is I mean, it's got the X Games branding all over it.
I don't, you know, I was going to look that up myself because I mean, my knowledge of Aspen is limited to the movie Dumb and Dumber. Like everything I know about Aspen, I learned from Dumb and Dumber. Oh, jeez.
All right, folks. While Justin tries to get himself pointed in the right direction, I will tell you about all the great video content we've got coming up tomorrow here on GameSpot. First off, we have another in our episodes, our series of Retro Now Playings. We are playing Duke Nukem in anticipation of Duke's next adventure and also honoring his sordid past in gaming. We're going to be doing that Now Playing tomorrow and giving away some Duke Nukem prizes, t-shirts, hoodies, so tune in for that in case you want to win something. And we also have a Dirt 3 Now Playing. If you're liking what you're seeing here and you want to see more, the folks in GameSpot UK are putting up a Now Playing tomorrow. So come on back and see some more Dirt 3. Anything else you want to mention about the game before we close it out, Justin?
Just that I'll have a review on Monday. And tomorrow when the embargo lifts, we're going to have a ton of like gameplay movies and screenshots and stuff going up too.
Excellent. So you Dirt 3 fans are going to get plenty more from us tomorrow. Now for everyone here in the GameSpot studios, I'm your host, Chris Waters. Justin Calvert, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Tune in tomorrow for all those Now Playings, and we'll see you next week on the Spot.